questions during the presentation, just write them in the chat box. Falsehood flies and truth comes limping after it, so that when men come to be undeceived, it is too late. The jest is over and the tale hath had its effect, said the famous Irish author Jonathan Swift. In our current political environment, fake news has undergone extreme changes. Linked with technological improvements, the concept isn't new, but the tools people use to spread lies have dramatically improved. Social media has provided the habitable environment for fake news to thrive. There are sundry elements about social media making it particularly dangerous for spreading disinformation. From graphic design and 3D modeling to more advanced forms of artificial intelligence. The digital space is an inherently dynamic, albeit often vindictive, world to inhabit. I now request Dr. R.N. Malviya, Chief Librarian, Ansel University, to give a welcome address.
Good evening to everyone. I, Dr. R.N. Malviya, convener of the webinar and Chief Librarian, Ansel University, welcome you all on this online webinar on Rise of Fake News in Digital Era, Ways to Combat. The speaker of today's webinar is Dr. Tal Powell, Professor, Academic College of Tel Aviv, Yafo, Israel. Dr. Tal Powell will speak on fake news and digital manipulation at the age of modern technology. And second speaker of this webinar is Dr. Prajesh Lal, Librarian, Shahid Rajguru College of Applied Sciences for Women, University of Delhi. Dr. Prajesh Rai will speak on application of NFC, Bluetooth, low energy in library and information center. These topics are very important for writers, researchers, library professionals, teachers, students, and academicians. Ansel University welcome Dr. Tal Powell and Dr. Prajesh Rai for accepting our request and sparing their valuable time. Rise of fake news in digital era, ways to combat, and the overall media landscape has changed. There have been several negative developments. Rather than using digital tools to inform people and elevate civic discussions, some individuals have taken advantage of social and digital platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. to deceive, mislead, or harm others through creating or disseminating fake news and disinformation. Fake news generated by outlets that disguised as actual media sites but promote false or misleading accounts designed to deceive the public. When these activities move from irregular and unorganized to organized and systematic efforts, they become disinformation campaigns with the potential to disrupt campaigns and governance in entire countries and societies. Fake news and sophisticated disinformation campaigns are especially problematic in democracy, and there is growing debate on how to address these issues without undermining the benefits of digital media. In order to maintain an open democratic system, it is important that government, business, important that consumers work together to solve these problems. Government should promote news literacy and strong professional journalism in their societies. The news industries must provide high quality journalism in order to build public trust and correct fake news and disseminate disinformation without legitimizing them. Technology companies should invest in tools that identify fake news, reduce financial incentive for those who profit from disinformation, and improve online accountability. Educational institutions should make informing people about news literacy a high priority. Finally, individuals should follow a diversity of news sources and be doubtful of what they'll read and watch. The challenges facing the digital and media scape. At the same time, everyone has a responsibility to combat the bad effect of fake news. These ranges from supporting investigative journalism, reducing financial incentives for fake news, and improving digital literacy among the general public. The webinar has drawn a widespread attention and a overwhelming response, both in the terms of participation and the choice of subjects, its current need and importance for the writers, teachers, researchers, library professionals, students, and academicians. Now I request Dr. Anjali Sehrawat to proceed. Over to Dr. Anjali.
Thank you, Dr. Malvia. Now, without further ado, we'll turn the time over to Dr. Tal Pavel, Professor, Academic College of Tel Aviv, Yafo, Israel. Professor Dr. Tal Pavel is an educator, entrepreneur, and a researcher with expertise in the field of cyberspace, internet, and ICT in the Middle East and the entire world. Dr. Pavel is the founder and CEO of Cybureau, the Cyber Empowerment Center in Romania and Israel. He's also the head of cybersecurity studies, Information Systems Program, School of Economics and Management in the Academic College of Tel Aviv, Yafo. Professor Pavel has done his MA in Middle Eastern Studies, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, BA in Middle Eastern Studies, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and holds expertise in various areas. He has earned his PhD in Middle Eastern Studies from Bar Ilan University, Israel, on the topic Changes in Governmental Restrictions over the Use of Internet in Syria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates between the years 2002-2005. His expert cyber commentaries are a regular feature on all major Israeli media outlets. Dr. Pavel will be speaking on the topic fake news and digital manipulations in the age of modern technology. Over to Dr. Pavel.
Good evening. Thank you very much for all of you, honorable organizers, distinguished guests. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity and the privilege to be here and to share some thoughts about fake news and digital manipulation. Do you see the presentation? Do you see my presentation well? Do you hear me, see me well? Everything is fine? Yes? Okay. Yes. See the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's start. You know, in one of my conferences that I gave, I spoke a bit about fake news. I realized that it's not only fake news that we're dealing with. It's not only fake news because A, it's not only fake, and B, it's not only news. So it's something like digital manipulation. I realized that rather than fake news, it's digital manipulation because we see something, we tend to believe that it's true, but it's totally fake. And the consequences may be harmful. As same as, well, not in this case of this image, but we see something that we tend to believe it's true, but this image is totally manipulated. Okay, it's digital manipulation. So let's start. I found this a tweet. It's in Persian, and you have here two images. One's supposed to be the real one, the genuine one, and one's supposed to be the fake one. Although it's written here in Persian what is real and what is fake, I must admit that I don't know. I hope that the one in the upper left corner is the real one, as written in red. but I don't know. And this is a good example of, you see something and you see here two images and you can't understand and know precisely what is fake and what is real. It's so delicate, and your whole perception of the situation may be changed. This image may be a horrible one or may be just innocent one. We cannot know. And according to the interpretation of the, or according to the image, we interpret differently the situation and all the relevant consequences. Here is the same. As you can see in the left side, there is a lady in front of solar phones, and it's written here on the left, Iranian cyber war against people. One of the regime's agents with dozens tablet on social media with different accounts. Iran is the land of fake news and propaganda. That's on the left side. But on the right side, you can see, well, it's the same image of probably or allegedly from a Chinese app store, which ranking manipulation worker to appear. Well, so what is true and what is fake? Probably this one on the right is the true and genuine one, and this on the left is fake. By the way, you can see that someone put here a kind of a poster, which is written here in Persian. So if the left one is the fake one, well, they put some efforts in order that it look genuine. Let's move a bit further. I'll give examples of fake news, of digital manipulation, of made by terrorist organization or by state actors, and at the end, how can we confront and cope with it? Terrorist organization, I found this image several, I think it was something like 4 years ago, in a Palestinian Facebook account. And it's written here, identity cards of soldiers that have been arrested in Gaza, which means it's supposed to be ID cards of soldiers that have been arrested right now, just at the moment in Gaza. And I took it some larger one. It's the same image. And suddenly I saw something that doesn't look reasonable, genuine. And I hope you can see here those two watermarks. The first one is AFP. AFP is a French Associated Press, Agence France Presse, the French news agency. And the second is Getty Images. And I asked myself, if this image is genuine and it's reflect identity cards of soldiers, Israeli soldiers that have been arrested just now in Gaza, how can it come that it have already two watermarks? And this is an example of digital manipulation because the images are genuine. There is no Photoshop. They are totally genuine, but they were taken from different situation. They were taken from an event, a real event, but that happened a decade before. And by the way, this is what it's written here in Arabic, that they are genuine one, but they belong to an event that happened a decade before. So digital fake news can be in two ways. First of all, to create something that didn't happen before, completely new, completely fake. But on the other hand, digital manipulation can be based on true story, true facts, or through images or photos, but that they were altered, or that they are genuine but happened before and not now, or happened in some other place. Let's see some other examples. Here is the same thing. As you can see here, it's the same image from ruins and damages that happened probably in Gaza. But on the bottom is, it was published in a tweet, in Facebook account, that it was allegedly happened on November 2012. But the real one, probably from the same location, probably from Gaza, but happened more than 3.5 years earlier. So it's not a fake, because it's a genuine one, but it's a secondary use of a real image. So at the end of the day, you created a fake situation, a fake story, a fake news. But fake news not based upon digital manipulation, not based upon a fake story. It's a true one. But you take a seed of truth and you create it and use it in some other occasion. And this is the fake one. This is a poster written in Arabic and in Hebrew, made by Hamas, the Islamic movement in Gaza. And probably you can see here that, well, something is looking wrong with the dimension of those soldiers, of those commando fighters. And when you see it, it's on one hand, it's look frightening. Well, as you can see, you can understand from this image, probably Hamas have those kinds of commando fighters. And in one of the presentation that I gave, someone at the audience told me, well, I know this image. It belonged to commando fighters from the India. It comes from India. It belonged to the Indian commando fighters. So it belonged to the Indian Navy. And this is the real image of the Indian Navy. But how easy it to take this genuine image of India Navy and to use Photoshop and to put the logo of Hamas, and suddenly those fighters no longer belong to India, but now they belong to something else. Here it's the same thing. It's interesting because from this image I understood that fake news, it's also issue of geographical issue and culture. Because if you see this image, the story that you have on your mind is that the soldier, and you can see the uniforms, the soldier is doing what? He's crying. Why? Because his friend that, let's say, I don't know, wounded. Okay. But it's also issue of culture. And I can tell you that this soldier is not crying, he's praying. Why? Because I know. And as a matter of fact, I can tell you where he is at the exact place of his prayer. Because I know it culturally. So when someone will see this image, he will have the pretension that he's crying over the wounded soldier. But when that came from this culture, I can tell you that no, he's praying. Okay? And here it's the same thing. When I'm knowing the local culture and religion, I can tell you that those young religious youngsters, they're studying over there because they are looking at something, perhaps a funeral, perhaps religious gathering, perhaps something. Because I know it because it's happened from time to time. They're standing and looking at perhaps religious, I don't know, performance or something, event. But down there, it's written here in Arabic, this is what our missiles, Qassam missiles, that's what the Qassam missiles are doing, which means they are run away, frightening. Of course, you can ask yourself whether this sitting guy looks frightening or the one that's standing here, okay? So it's issue of cultural interpretation. Because when you see this image with the relevant slogan here, the footer, you interpreted it as they are flying away, that they are running away. But I know that they are looking at a religious event. Okay, the same thing they can take. Well, it can be everyone. An image, of course, a genuine one. In this case, I don't know, perhaps was taken from Jane's magazine, military magazine, of mortal unit, and just put their logo here, and suddenly this mortal, well-equipped unit, it's not belong to one of the armies around the world. No, it belonged to the Hamas in Gaza. Why? Because they just took this image of, it's those shells look brand new, shining in the sun, and this soldier is well equipped with a nylon here. But whenever you put your logo, now these soldiers belong to you. Here it's the same thing. What you can see here, and this is, by the way, the logo of Hamas in Gaza. You can see here drone, okay? And you can see here anti-tank mortar, RPG. And when you took this image, and here it's written in Arabic, Al-Qassam Brigade, it's the military wing of Hamas. And when you see this drone with this mortar, rocket anti-tank launcher, so the assumption is that, well, the Hamas have this kind of a drone that may attack missiles, launch missiles against tanks. But it's an Ukrainian one. Okay, this drone was made in Ukraine, and this is the website of this, as you can see here, rocket launcher drone, Ukrainian company. Okay, so how easy is to take a genuine one, a genuine image, and to create manipulation. I don't know if you remember or know this poor guy. He was a Jordanian pilot of the Jordanian Air Force. His F-16 was shut down, and he was captured by Islamic State activists. And they released a film in which he was burned alive in a cage. No, we will not see it, of course. It was very terrifying to see it. But a month later, after the publication of this shocking video and horrible one, there was a special effect blogger that wrote, "I promise you that Lieutenant El-Kassasli," that was the name of this Jordanian pilot, was not burned alive. Yes, he was killed, but not as it looked like, because all the flame and all the fire was made using special effects. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter for him, because this poor Jordanian pilot, yes, he died, but not as we saw it. It's totally digital manipulation, because both the fire and the flame was made by special effects. Okay, and here's the same thing relating to the Islamic State. There is a video, we will not see it, of course, of Copt beheading in shores of Libya. And as you can see here, ISIS army of 7-footers. Experts say video of Copt beheadings manipulated. How by those green screen rooms, like in professional studio. We'll see some examples of fake news made by state actors. And there is a question whether fake news can create war. I think that in some cases the answer may be, unfortunately. And there are some examples in the past of fake news made allegedly by state actors. Several of them made in Europe with fingers pointed to Russia. One of them is what is called The Crucified Boy in Ukraine. And it was a story that was filmed and like a production in Channel 1 in Russia. And as you can see here, it became this example of disinformation or lies that became the standard of modern mass media. In Russian mass culture, the episode "This Good Piece of Propaganda" became a synonym of journalist fame. So the story of the crucified boy, the Ukrainian crucified boy, or the Russian crucified boy, pardon, that was allegedly executed by Ukrainian soldier is totally fake. But although it was fake, it broadcasted in Channel 1 in Russia. Another case, pardon. Okay, another issue, also in this case, the fingers were pointed to Russia, is the case of Lisa, the Lisa case. And the allegations of, as you can see here, the media storm surrounded a fake story about a Russian German girl who had reportedly been raped by Arab migrants was a wake-up call for German political elites earlier this year. For the first time, they clearly saw the links between Russian domestic and foreign media campaigns against Germany and Russia politics at the highest level. So once again, the claims was that Russia stands behind this campaign of Lisa, which, by the way, the image, as you see here, the photo that you see here is taken from protests of Russian Germans who protested in Germany because they feel that they have no secure, they are not secured anymore. So this is a real image of a real protest that was made because of fake story, fake news. Allegedly, that this fake news made by a state actor. Some other cases that I want to share with you, state fake news. As you can see here, there is a missile launch test of 4 missiles. But as you can see here, something happened to missile number 3. And missile number 3 was not launched. This is the Shihab-3 experiment missile from July 2008. And this is the real image. But this image was the one that was published. Why? Obviously, because it doesn't look good when there is malfunctioning in one of the missiles, and missile number 3 was not launched. So this is look much better. But how you come from this one to this one? Easy. Okay? You can see the original and the release one. On the left one, the original, and the right one, the released one. How you can make it so easy? Okay, just copy paste. Just copy paste. Basic Photoshop. And then in a second, the split of a second, you have a full, very nice experiment. All 4 of missiles were launched, and we have 4 missiles in the air. It's much better. And it was very famous joke all over the internet, this manipulation. And as you can see here, it was memed and joke all over the net. And especially this one that I like, Jihad on Your Thought missile. It was very, very funny all over the net because it was obviously, it was so known that it is fake. I give you some more examples. This one also, it's supposed to be a drone, and its name is supposed to be Coil, Iranian one. It was launched on November 2012. That was the Iranian claim. But the truth is that this one is, pardon, is drone made by Japanese student. And you can see the differences here. I don't know if you can see here the constructions, and above there is nothing in the Iranian one. But on this one, there are huge ventilators, fans or something, okay? As you can see here, the original one of the drone made by the Japanese student. I'll give you some more examples. This is very cute one. This image was taken from inauguration event of Kaha F-313 jet, Iranian jet, stealth one, super fighter, and you can see here the jet, and you can see here former Iranian president Ahmadinejad, and the pilot is sitting here, F-313. But the problem is, as you can read, and it's not me then saying that, as you can hear, here's why Iran's new stealth fighter jet can't fly. It even can't fly. Iran's new super stealth fighter jet is totally fake. You want to know why? Let's see. You know, this is the cockpit. And as you can see here, it's a PC game joystick. And this is Samsung TFT monitor. And this is Sony automobile radio. It's hilarious, hilarious. And this is a plastic cast, okay? And if you'll see here, I don't know if you can see, well, as written here, it's supposed to be a Sony automobile radio. And you can see the white box and the blue and the red wired cable. I hope you can see it. If you go back, you can see them here. It's the same white box and the same blue and red cables wired. So it's not genuine. It's complete fake. And it's so, I don't know, naive. Another example is this image that published in several Iranian media outlets. And well, on first look, you can see here, on first instance, you can see here the jet flying over mountains. And it's written here, Kaha in Persian, F-313, the Iranian flag. Well, the claims is that this is the image of the mountains, which, if I understand correctly, it's even perhaps Microsoft desktop image. And this is, well, you can see that it's looking the same one. They just put the image, copy paste with basic Photoshop, the image of the airplane over the mountain here. But I hope you can see, here you can see it much better. I hope you can see the lights, different lights. There is an orange light here, something like green light here, and blue lights here. Well, this jet is supposed to be flying high in the sky. How can it be that it have here orange, green, and blue lights? You want to know how? Let's see. Well, it's the same colors that appear when this jet stood in the hangar in the inauguration. Okay, so it can't fly, and it didn't fly, and this image is, the image is fake, and this earthing is fake. But think about it. If you will see it in your eyes, in any given media outlet, will you know that it's fake? Will you be able to analyze that, well, it can't fly? Well, what are those colored lights? Probably not, because we do not see the source. And this is a difficult situation, may create challenges for us as digital citizens, because we consume news, we consume data, and we process it into knowledge. And when we consume fake data, we process it into fake knowledge, and all our assumptions are based upon fake data. And it may be crucial with hazards implementations, because this may be funny, but the case of Lisa and the case of the crucified boy may create riots and protests and unrest. Let's see some others. Well, this is from North Korea, and the claim is that, well, everything here is genuine, but the claim is that Kim Il Sung, I think he was named, the father of Kim, the current ruler of North Korea. The claim is that he was not standing here, but it's like a Photoshop. And the claim is that, as you can see here, there is a line, a black line all over. You know, you see it all over. There is a black line, but something here, there is nothing. There is nothing here. So the claim is that the photo is genuine, but no, without him. They put it after. They put him after. And his funeral, you can see this one and another one that is a split of a second was made later. It's not the same thing. It's not the same image. This was made first, and this was made 2-3 seconds later. But you can see the difference. This is much wider, and this is clean. But here it's foggy. The snow look with dirt. There are people here standing, but here it's empty. It's white, clean. It's supposed to be. Okay, so yes, it's not the same image. It's not the same image, but although there is several seconds gap between those, you can see the difference on TV team that do not appear here, and that this image is much cleaner in every aspect. This is also maneuvers of hovercraft in North Korea. And the claims are that perhaps 1, 2, 3 is genuine, but all those in the background in the sea are made by Photoshop. And you can see here the waters, probably at least half of those hovercraft are made by Photoshop. I'll show you just a second, pardon. I'll show you some examples of what is called deep fake. If you heard about it, deep fake, it's the ability to use the modern technology of artificial intelligence to create something new, to create something fake. And I'll show you some examples. You can see those persons here, those photos, those faces. You know who are they? Well, it's shocking that they do not exist. They are not real persons. They are made by artificial intelligence. And it's amazing because it's looked so real, so genuine, so vivid. But no, they are totally fake. They are totally fake by artificial intelligence. And as you can see, these people don't exist. They are made by using artificial intelligence. And you can see the technology, because several years ago, the technology can produce this kind of great images. But today, as you can see, it's so precise images made by some other pictures. And you can see the improvement of technology. And you can see only 4 years, see the difference. And once again, I wanted to know that this image of this lady do not exist in the real life. It's image that was made, as you can see here, by several other images. Because if you take this row, you take all those images, you will receive at the end of the day this young lady. Okay? It's the same here. So if this was the technology 2 years ago, I don't want to know what will be the technology and what will be the opportunities to create fake faces in 4 years from now or in 2 years from now. Because now we have perhaps the ability to know the differences. And I won't do with you the experiment because we don't have enough time. But there is a website in which there are two faces, just two faces, two images, and you have to click on the one that you think is the genuine one. Now, in the car technology, in 80% of the cases, I was able to reveal the real one. But it's in kind of, laboratory condition, because I sit here and I have only two large images, and I know that 50% is that I'm correct in one of them. But if you see this image, this photo on any media outlet, will you know that it's a fake? Will you know that it's manipulated? Will you know not to be based upon a story that used this image? That the story, an article, a news item that based upon the story probably will be fake the same. I don't know if you were able to see. You see this this video? Are you seeing this video? You are able to see the video that I'm sharing with you? You see the video?
Yes, sir.
Ah, marvelous, marvelous. So you see President Obama, former President Obama speaking. I don't know if you can hear him. I can hear. I don't know if you can hear, but you see here President Obama speaking. Okay. You see it? Well, it's not President Obama speaking. It's artificial intelligence of President Obama. And the voice is the voice of the actor Jordan Peele. So when you see this video clip, you think, you believe, you totally believe that you see President Obama. No. You hear an actor and you see artificial intelligence image. And as you can see here, it's so dangerous. And I see deep fake as one of the most dangerous to democracy. Because if I can create clips like that one, of politicians, VIPs persons, leaders, president, and whatsoever, I can create havocs. I can create, perhaps declare war. I don't know. The collapse of stock exchange. I can do whatever I want, because you will see something that A, you believe that it's true, you will act accordingly, the same as I want, but C, it's don't exist. Okay. I'll jump on some other examples. I'll show you something. I don't know if you hear it. You see here some actress speaking in the Golden Globe Award, but it's not her. This is the real one. I think I forgot her name. This is on the left. You can see the real video. On the right, you can see the manipulated. How they made it? They took both images of both actors, this one and this one, and from both images they created the right one. She stands here on the left. This is the genuine one, and on the left you see the manipulated, and the manipulated was made by those two faces, those two images. And as you can see, even deepfake by voice can create even cybercrime incidents. I'll show you some examples of fake news made by hackers. This is a claim that published something like 7 years ago that hackers had the ability to breach Israeli Mossad website, and as written here, Anonymous hacked the site and leaked sensitive data from the database related to 30,000 Mossad agents. Okay, come on. And it was the header is shocking. It's amazing, and it was half years later retweeted again and again because the title is amazing. But when I've downloaded the database, I saw that it was gathered from dozens of already been hacked databases. And you can see that it's a combined database that originated from several already been hacked databases, because there are several formats of the database. It's not one database. So it's completely fake a news item. Another case is the allegation made, as you can see here, that Syrian hackers were able, as you can see here, to breach, was not now, it was published several years ago, to breach infrastructure systems of Haifa municipality. The allegation were made that they were able to breach the water system, the infrastructure water system of the Haifa municipality. And I was in a radio live interview, broadcasting live, and I said that, listen, there is no story here. There is no story. When the mayor of Haifa said that he knows about no incidents of hacking into the water system in Haifa, he is right, because there was no breach. How I know it? Because at the article that was published here, they published screenshot of the allegedly water systems of Haifa, because that's what they said they did. But it's in Hebrew. It's written here, avocado north, avocado south, poultry line. Poultry, avocado, orangery. Well, it's not in a city, and this is the main screen of the system. And here again, and it's written water south. So this is from system, perhaps from manual. Perhaps it's not. It was not hacked. Perhaps it's screen that taken from published system manual from a village named Sal that is at the north of Israel, and it's written here once again: avocado north, avocado south, wheel of the orangery, line of poultry. Well, as you can see, it's not belong to Haifa municipality water system. What can be done? What can be done? Countermeasures by media to expose. The role of the media is to expose cases like that of manipulation. And as you can see, this picture featuring 15 tech men and 2 women look doctor. The woman were photoshopped in. The role is to uncover those fake cases. And this is also, it was published 2 weeks ago, 21st of May. And as written here, breaking tank has just been stolen and he is now being driving around Los Santos with the hashtag rights 2020 and the hashtag Black Lives Matter. But it's a true video clip of tank that was stolen and riding the street. But it happened 15 years earlier. Update. We would like to issue a correction. Once again, our sources weren't being honest. The video was shot in 1995. It's genuine one, but happened 15 years earlier. We apologize. Now let's move on. And this is something that I found. It's an article from Israeli economic media outlet about the acquisition of a company in $430 million, and they put this image and of perhaps the founder of this Israeli bought firm, and it was amazing because look at the guy on the left, look at his legs, and I was shocked to see it. I don't know why, but someone did something to his leg or something, or someone perhaps, I don't know, something happened. Something is not genuine with this leg. It can't be, as you can see. Another thing is Wikipedia. And you can see that even in Wikipedia, there is list of hoaxes. There are articles that exist year over year, and they are totally fake articles. They do not exist. There are things that do not exist. Where there are sportsmen, writers, words in different languages, they are totally fake. Why? I don't know. But as you can see, there are articles that exist, fake articles that exist in Wikipedia for years over years. Another countermeasures may be legislation. As in Singapore, controversial fake news law goes into effect. Another thing is NGOs, and we saw the case of Ukraine and the conflict, and there is a stopfake.org, a struggle against fake information about events in Ukraine, and the essence of this NGO is to reveal fake stories about the crisis in Ukraine. So to conclude, we need to find a black swan, and the black swan is things that we do not expect that they exist. So we need to expect the unexpected, like those faces, images that we think that they are real, but they are not. To expect the unexpected, we need to empower. I mean, the same as we teach our children how to cross the street safely, to look to the left and to the right, we need to mind the digital gap, to minimize the digital map, to invest. But when we said investment, first of all, we think, yeah, technology. But I want to tell you, investment is not only in technology. Invest in human capital, in students, in digital citizens, in every internet user. Invest in his or her knowledge, because we are all digital citizens and we are all consuming media, and we are all consuming perhaps even fake news if there are. And if we have no abilities to know whether it's 0 or 1, fake or true, we consume both of them and interpret the situation in the same manners. Pardon. Culture, it's strategy for breakfast, as Mr. Peter Drucker said, and as you can see, 95% of organizations have cultural issues around cybersecurity, which means most of organizations have cultural issues relating cybersecurity, which means we do not teach our citizens, our human capitals, our workers, our partners, how to handle in this cyber dimension. And we call it even cyber hygiene. We need to create cyber hygiene to everyone. It's not only those in the tech department, it's everyone, because every one of us, we are digital citizens. Because if we use cellular phones, emails, text messages, and whatsoever, we are digital citizens. And we are prone to be manipulated by fake news and digital manipulation. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how old are we. What is our profession? What is our sector? What we are doing? How wise are we? Security is a process and not a product. And security is also the ability to confront fake news, to know that this is a fake news and to confront it. And always remember the famous quote, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet," the famous quote of Mr. Abraham Lincoln. Okay, this quote of Mr. Abraham Lincoln: "Don't believe everything you read on the internet." And the last thing is, I want you to know and remember, please, that computer keyboard is the best offensive weapon. Here is my activities over the net. If you want to follow on Facebook, Telegram, I have a channel, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram, and email. Please feel free to address me, to drop an email or whatsoever, or to follow in every relevant social network channel. Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure to be here and to share with you some of my thoughts about fake news and digital manipulation. Thank you. Thank you very much. And if you can see, if you want, you can see it once again. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Pavel, for this informative session. Well, rightly put by the professor that how viral half-truth is part of the fabric of today's internet. And the kind of anger it inspired has been turned into a dangerous commodity. It's cynically exploited by scammers raising money online and even by government sometimes to spread hate and fear. So rightly suggested by him, we need to empower and we need to invest in human capital. And every internet user should invest his knowledge to understand and to expose fake news. So for attendees information, all the questions are invited in the question and answer box, which will be taken by the speakers at the end of the session. We will be running a live question and answer at the end of the webinar. So we have enabled Ask a Question feature. It is on the right-hand side of your screen in the auditorium. So if you have any questions, just pop them in there. So the next speaker of the day is Dr. Prajas Roy. So I take the privilege to introduce him. Dr. Roy is serving as a librarian at Shahid Rajguru College of Applied Sciences for Women, University of Delhi. He's also the coordinator for a subject offered by IGNOU, which is exclusively on library and information studies. Dr. Roy has done his PhD from University of Delhi. He's recipient of Information InfoShare Award 2014, SIG3, American Society for Information Science and Technology. Dr. Roy is the chairperson of Technology, Transfer and Innovation QQML Greece. He's published 4 books and has several international and national publications. He has been an invited speaker at various conferences and universities in countries like Oman, UAE, Bhutan, Maldives, Germany, Poland, Austria, etc. Dr. Roy will be sharing his views on application of NFC Bluetooth Low Energy Library and Information Center. Over to Dr. Roy, please.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Anjali Sherawat. And probably after Dr. Tal Pavel, it's very difficult to speak the quantum of information he has given. I must appreciate Dr. Tal.
Thank you, sir.
For
Thank
this
you.
session,
Thank you, sir.
For this session, I must thank Dr. K.P. Singh, Assistant Librarian, Ansal University Library. He provoked me, and Dr. Tal Pavel indulged me, and Dr. Malbia just pushed me up to out of my basic characteristic of hiding myself. So thank you so much. Dignitaries, coming to my topic, near field communication and BLE technology in library application. The technology, it is not new exactly, it is old one. The near field technology being near field communication technology being used from 2002 onwards, and it has basically came after 20 years of RFID technology. And probably the Sony and Nokia introduced that NFC near field communication technology. And Bluetooth, you know already. We are all connected with the Bluetooth technology. Even my earphone is connected with the Bluetooth technology, and you have used extensively. But how we are going to use it on library point of view, that's a question, concept to discussing today. We are one of the finest library system in the world, and the biggest. And you all know that we have a Takshila, we have a Nalanda, the oldest library in the earth. And we have a different tools for the subject classification and everything. But somehow we get lost. But out of that, within that period of time, we have developed the way probably any other country cannot develop, the way we have developed our library system throughout the country. Today's date, probably every library are fully with the finest library. We need to retrospect our and we have to backward why we are doing more into technology and how technology will going to help us and for what purpose we are going to use. That's a concern. That's why we just came with that concept into this webinar. We have already seen the barcode technology. Barcode technology we have used, and probably 1990s we have introduced that one, and people are used in the library. It is because just inputtation of the data into the computer. We just slow down the human interface, human keyboard interface into the computer, and we came into a way that machine should input the data into the computer. So the error will be reduced from 99.9%. So barcode has used, we adopted, we worked on that, and sometimes we used to issue and return books with the barcode technology, and we have a barcode scanner also. That's a wireless barcode scanner for the taking stock of the library. But one problem was that with the barcode technology, that do not have any security of the book. So we used to start the EM technology for security purpose of the books. So at the same time, when we're using barcode technology, at the same time we are using EM tag. So simultaneously using two different technology. One is transaction of the books, one is security of the books. So we clubbed together. And we came with the radio frequency identification system. And we have used very nicely. There is no problem at all. The only problem is that radio frequency. That can be used only for the transaction, identification of the books, and segregation of the books. So we're just thinking one by one, where goes wrong? The wrong part is that it is costly. Of course, it's costly. And probably after COVID period, it will be very difficult to carry on with the kind of project in the RFID project in. So what will be the next? So on the same side, all our wireless technology, the radio, RFID, NFC, BLE, and iBeacon, wireless technology, basically the wireless fidelity, but at the same time, it's a kind of radio frequency, but wireless. NFC is another technology which can help us to come out the deficiency in the RFID. And Bluetooth Low Energy, BLE, and iBeacon can be used in the library in a value addition service to our users. There are many university systems are using the Bluetooth Low Energy and iBeacon in their libraries. So if we have a look, the attributes of the RFID and NFC. If you look at the operational frequency, it is 13.56 megahertz, both RFID and NFC. Communication is one way, whereas NFC has a two-way communications. The standard, RFID used 3 standard, but NFC used only ISO 14443. Scan distance up to 1 meter, and NFC up to 10 centimeters. So the scan distance is lesser than the RFID technology. Another drawback with the NFC technology is that in the RFID system, you can simultaneously scan many books altogether. But where it is NFC, you have to do one by one. You have to do one. So it is very close kind of scan distance is lesser. That's why it's called tap technology. Once we tap it, and it will transact it. So scan simultaneously, it is not possible in NFC technology. But how it can help in a different way, we'll look forward that one. This is NFC is a technology, wireless technology that has a range of only a few inches. It's based on the magnetic field interaction between the reader and the tag in a radio frequency identification system, adhering to the ISO 14443 international standard for smart card. Near-field communication is compatible with the contactless ID card terminal in use around the world. That is from PC Mac. The term NFC may apply to NFC tags, which are passive device without power sources and similar to library RFID tags, or smart NFC devices such as point-of-sale reader or smartphone, which are active device capable of generating their own radio frequencies field. Secondly, near-field communication is that technology that allows user to do something interesting, new things with the smartphone. NFC is kind of high-frequency RFID technology, which is same technology we use in the library. But whereas our library RFID tag can be read from the 20 inches away or so, NFC communication only happens within a range of half inch. That's why it's called tap-up technology. How this NFC tag and the basic principles of coil here, the wire can be used to produce magnetic wave, which can then be picked up and turned back into the current by another coil of wire. The strongest argument in favor of NFC over other form of short-range wireless communication is that tags are incredibly cheap to make, but will be used for a wide range of applications. So we're going to find how we are going to use it for a wide range of applications. If you look at the inductive coupling of that RFID and the NFC tag and the NFC reader or your smartphone, it's create kind of it's create kind of, it's a kind of inductive coupling or create a kind of electromagnetic wave within the NFC tag and the antenna. Here, the antenna normally push some kind of electromagnetic wave and it's charged. When it's active, then we read it. So it doesn't carry the that energy. So it's always kind of passive. If you want to activate, you need to go with the electromagnetic kind of vibrations with that. Now, here, how technology works. Coil in the smartphone setup, a current that is picked up by the smart tag. The smart tag receives the induced current from the cell phone, recognize it as a valid signal and offer a connection to the cell phone. The cell phone accepts the connection and begin the transaction. That's the way one mobile phone and NFC tag are interacting all together. Here is the NFC-enabled mobile phone, which majority you have is carrying it. It secure element store the encrypted data, NFC controller manage traffic and radio frequency signals, NFC antenna collect and transmit the RF signals. That's a basic architect of a NFC-enabled smart. Now, how we can use NFC in other ways. Here you can see, if you have a NFC-enabled mobile phone, you can pay for the public transportation system, or in a hotel restaurant, or you can tap up with the two different devices. So the data can be exchanged with the two different phone without any difficulties. You can find any kind of things which is NFC enabled. And probably in Delhi, everybody you have used Metro smart card itself is an NFC enabled smart card. So we are using it frequently, but I will see how we can use in the library. Even you can connect with your lock and you can make a key. So if you put your NFC ring, it will automatically open up the door. So that's the basic technology on that, and we can apply it in a way. Now, why I am talking of NFC? That's the question. Here you can see it is low-cost library automation. Efficient library housekeeping operation can be done through NFC because you have a technology, and that technology can be run through your mobile phone. And if you have every books is NFC enabled chip are there, so you can immediately find out any books. Promote user-centric library services. How it could be? What I'm thinking is that if users can have the NFC-enabled mobile phone, that can be transformed into the user card of the library. When the user will come into the library, they can take out one books and they tap it. So immediately that will be issued, and they can go without any hesitations from the library. So it will be a user-centric kind of thing. So when you giving such kind of authority to a user in the library, they will started thinking it is their library. It is their library. So, and when they will come up the library and they will going to return it, so they will feel, okay, this is my library. So feeling users made them feel that it is their library. It's probably one of the finest user-centric library service. Next is use of Android phone instead of workstation. We'll see one by one later how it will help in cost cutting. Android phone is probably much lesser than the one workstation, and low-cost applications for library housekeeping operation. Normally, when we go for the RFID, The deficiency part of the RFID system is that it's a high cost. High cost means one RFID sticker costing 30 to 25 rupees. Where we'll go to the NFC tag, it will cost 1 to 3 rupees. Next thing, when you go for the RFID technology, you need to have a one middleware. And that middleware, again, when usually charge for that, probably 1 lakh rupees. It's I'm telling you the lesser price, bargain price, but they can charge you what they wanted to charge. So that money could be saved. You need not to take any kind of middleware in using that kind of technology. If you want to use NFC technology for issuing one book, you have to take out the read ID card. You have to put your NFC enabled tab or your phone. You just submit that one. So it will read the user's card and it will issue book and it will be issued. If you want to check in, so you just take out the books, you just keep the books with the NFC enabled devices, either phone or tab, submit, it will delete on showing the date and that the list of that person has been issued. So this is one use directly in the library, how we are going to issue and return. It will be done through your mobile phone or tab or by the user tab. Another application we can see, when you are moving through the metro in the underground, you do not have a data connectivity and you are getting bored in the metro network. So in that case, you can keep some of the books in the metro and that books will be NFC enabled chip, and within NFC enabled chip, we can keep the content page of the book, or some of the 10 pages or 3 pages or 5 pages of the chapter that can they have take out from their mobile phone and can read later on. So here you can see some of the library are using. They are keeping some of the books there. You just put your mobile phone near to that particular book. You need to be more closer. So when you are doing this thing, automatically the information of the books will come up to your mobile phone and it will read. Later on, you will find some books, some pages of the books, of course, the content part of the books or the chapters of the books. So you can take out within that commuting period. You can read it out. When you find the books are really good for you or in your choice, so later on, the app can be locative where that particular books can be available in different part of daily libraries. So that can be done through this app with the NFC technology. So this is one of the finest service probably. Even not only in the metro underground, you can do it for your library. It is just a concept. When new books will come to your library, and when you are putting up the jacket of the books into the library, on that particular jacket, you can put one NFC tag with the content page of the books. So when one user will passing through the through that area, they can tap their mobile phone and they can get the content page of the books. So later on, they can find is that book is suitable for them or not. We have to do it. We have to do it because the whole generation are dependent on the computer. So we have to reach out to that extent. The main problem that this the NFC is that security is concerned, of course. How we are going to secure our application. If you have a secure two-tier security in your family application interface, so probably nobody will think of doing all kind of thing for taking or kind of locking or hacking kind of thing, because the quantum of energy and the quantum of effort they are going to do for taking out any books from the library. Probably it is better not to do it. They can tear out the pages, but that's not the concern. Concern is that how we are secure our things and how we are with full of empathy we can reach out the book to our user. That's our concern, because librarianship is not a burden. Librarianship is an investment. So the quantum of effort throughout the country the librarians are doing within that COVID period, probably every library has started up with a digital material to its clientele. The quantum of job they have done, it's extremely, we are extremely thankful to everybody. Coming to my effort, which I have done with my, come to the low energy BLE technology. The Bluetooth Energy is new standard of Bluetooth technology that allow devices to send and receive data using small amount of energy. And iBeacon are basically an app brand name given to the technology that improve location while devices and app via BLE. When a BLE-enabled device is near, iBeacon can transmit content to it, and vice versa. The device can be transferred to the iBeacon as well. Now, where use for our library? That's the concern. Here you can some of the library are keep. Even we are also thinking we'll put some iBeacon on the book rack, and the iBeacon of that particular book rack marked with your that call number. So whenever users will come up into the library, so if we open, they can immediately all information of that particular rack, bibliographical data, they can immediately take out in their mobile phone. Even that can be done. I have already discussed that through call number range, we can do it very nicely. And in one particular range, so that can be mapped with the call number, whole library, and that can be put into the iBeacon. So when our users come with the mobile devices, if they tap the very closer to the iBeacon, so whole information will come up their mobile phone, and they can open up it, and they can go through the library if they wanted to search anything. So that particular document can reach without any hesitation. Besides this, any things happening to the library or something new in the library, that information can also be done the iBeacon. So here you can see one pattern enters the library. The devices picked up beacon broadcast. The devices reach out to their library app server to see event occurring at the library. And at the same time, the pattern is notified about an upcoming event. They may be interested in signing up for that. So that can be done with the Bluetooth technology. As I told you, that if you have a Bluetooth technology and you have a proper structuring of the system, so there, if you have a Bluetooth in your mobile and through iBeacon, exactly reach to that particular book. And some of the university library is working on that. They have already done it. People are using that technology. So that can be done, probably is a very less amount of money. We need not to pay huge amount of money for that. It's a kind of technology, it is inbuilt. We have to reuse in different way. That's the concern is. Now, what I have done, it is not only I have done, it's my student done. And not only me, there are people who are working on that. Here you can see, we have created one software. This is the way we have do it. We have created this system, algorithm, software requirement, NFC tag, issue of books, returning. One by one, I could go. You can get an eye that can be done. Probably you can do much betterment. Here you can see in this automation system, if one user will come up to your library, so they have to open up the app. On that app only it will be work when you are where you are in the library. When your GPS system is in the library, then your app will be activated. Once activated, then you have to put some member ID over there, and the books will be issued. And in case of return, you have to take the books, and you have to put the member ID, and it will automatically return. If you have crossed the due date, so later on you can see the fines that will be calculated also here. So that we have done. Step one, you can see that. Just a moment. Step one, start. Log in the application. The user tap NFC enabled smartphone on the NFC enabled library card. The application will read the user ID from the user library card and then ask for the password. After authentication, the user will be logged in. Step 3, select choice from menu, issue books, return books, and history. And here is step 4. If you selected issue books option, then NFC tag on the book in smartphone. If user has already issued 4 books, then return error. Else user is want to issue the same books again, it will give you the return error. Else, if the user want to issue the already issue book, return error. Else, issue the books on the username. Step 5, if the user select return books option, read NFC tag using smartphone, it gives all the information including fine data and date and time of issue, book name, book ID, number of late days. So if then later 0, pay the fine and the fine is added up. Book is returned, then the entry in the database regarding the books is modified. Step 6, if user select history option, then display the list of all the books user had issued so far. Log out. The user can log out using the logout option in the application to stop its system. We have used over here, where use Android, PHP, MyAdmin, Tomcat, MySQL, JDK, and we have used Java, XML, Android program, PHP, SQL, and we have used NFC enabled smartphone, NFC card, and NFC tag content information about the book. Here you can see we have created 3 tables: book, user table, and issue book table, user table, and issue of book table. So here is the different tables of that: book table, issue books, and user tables. If we go for the user tables, you can see the ID, name, email ID, password, roll number, and etc. etc. And you can include many of them. And the book detail, you can use all the book normally required by the for a bibliographical requirement. So you can create a field for that. So in issue ID, user ID, book ID, issue date, return date, and the fine or anything else. So how it looks like in your mobile phone. This is LMS NFC. This is the logo. Sorry. This is a library management system, NFC. This is an NFC application. You have to put the password. And this is the main menu: issue book, return book, history, find history, and NFC enabled scan the tag issue. It will tell if you want to issue, just press the issue. The book will be issued automatically. If you are searching different book, if it is not database, not in the database, it will tell the book not found in the database. Or NFC enabled scan book tag for returning the books. You just put over there. If you have a fine, it will calculate. It will return the books, and your fine money will be zero. The books will return successfully. So you can find detailed loan history, issue history, and return history over here. And if you have any kind of library due, you have to pay for that. So that's kind of technology we're using. Why we're using? Because NFC applications are growing rapidly. In the number of NFC-enabled mobile phone will grow 30 times between 2020 to 21, reaching 1.2 billion units. Probably after 2021, any mobile phone will come up. It will come up with the NFC enabled. So why I'm trying to do is, when we are trying the advantage of that particular technology, not investing to other technology. So we'll take the advantage of NFC technology, Bluetooth technology, which is inbuilt in the user's mobile phone, and we'll connect. Now, what are the RFID? Why I am talking about that concept? Because RFID has its problem. I have already told you that it's costly, really costly. Because spending one-time RFID is not the solution. You have to pay the annual maintenance charge regularly. Second thing, you have to put lot of amount in the hardware system, networking system. So that requires a lot of money. And that money can be used in different purposes in the library. We can create e-library, because library in India, probably we need to create e-library. Otherwise, there is no solution, because majority of the online database vendor are going to subscribe on the basis of your IP address. So if you are not in the institute, you cannot access all the e-resources. So some of the challenges we'll discuss. Here you can see, if we're going for the RFID, one RFID reader and workstation, computer and the workstation. That cost probably, computer is around 70,000, and that reader around 1,50,000. So it is almost a lakh, where one mobile phone of 20,000 rupees can handle this term of activities which you are doing through RFID. Here you can see the RFID chip, which is almost same with the NFC chip. The price of the RFID chip so high, and NFC chip so low. It's 1 to 3 rupees, where it is very high. Now, middleware. In NFC, RFID technology, you need to have one middleware. But here, when using technology, your mobile phone app, it's connected with the server, so you don't require any kind of middleware for that. Your app is work like a middleware. So you need not to pay, or need not to, more than pay is, you need not to take any kind of effort to create another applications for your library automation. That's the concept. Here you can see, if you go for the self-circulation kiosks, it is almost 2,50,000, and the handheld reader almost 1,50,000. So almost 4 lakh rupees you are spending for the issue systems and for recording the amount of books in the for the stock verification. So that can be done through your mobile phone. So how it is going, you can imagine, you can understand it is, you can think of it. So your thinking and your understanding is important. The cost of the burden of budget is goes at least 1/4 the budget we normally spend in the RFID technology if we adopt the NFC technology. This is not only me, I'm talking or I'm working on that. My children in India, majority of the technical institute, they are working on that. They are doing research, and they have created so many of things. Look at that. Lakshmi Devi Ji Kurmi, NFC-based library automation using smartphone. It is 2014. Here you can see Nlipsys library system using NFC technology. C. Puri Mun, Muhammad Sakil Hussain, Manmeet Mahendrajit Singh. 2017. Near field communication enabled library, Mr. Siddharth Jagpat. It is in 2015. Smart library using NFC, HC Bosnet. It is in 2016. You can understand in one snapshot, I am able to find out so many of article on NFC enabled library system. It is everybody, every technical institute and the software institute in India, they are working on that. They are creating software. And we need to motivate them. We need to give them kind of project for the life. Okay, kids, you have to do this and you have to carry forward for that. So the burden of the library budget will be lesser. We can create more avenues for the library, for the users. We have a wonderful software for the university Soul and eGranthalaaya. This is one of the, I will tell you, dignitaries, that is one of the cheapest library automation software. If you think of library automation software in India, it's very costly, which is coming from other countries. It is very costly. That is the governmental effort, and they're doing excellent job. That is probably to think of anything. It's a ready-made software. You need not to learn for like Koha. It's a ready-made, and it's a very cheap software, which in that sense, it's a very cost-effective. So we are ready with that concept. And if you understand the concept, that why we're not able to do that, because we can do that. We can do that because my children are doing that. They're creating softwares every day. Here you can see some of our countrymen who are heading one of the finest tech company in the world. They're the CEOs. You got Arvind Krishnan, IBM, Sundar, Google Alphabet, Shatta Nandila, Microsoft, Jayasri Ullal, Arista Network, Shantanu Narayan, Adobe, Sri Sanjay Mehrotra, Micron, and Sri George Kurian, NetApp. They're the people who are holding the highest post of the software designing. They are our people. They're doing excellent. Breed is, so we can do it. We can do it. And we have a tremendous philosopher. I will tell you, last week, probably the mid of May, Miss Crystal Veneman. She's the director of National Library, Estonia. She is referring the Professor Ranganathan. Jarmo Sasti, the director library, Eastern Finland University. He many times we had a talk, and he is very much interesting to do some project on Ranganathan. There are thousands of people who are referring Ranganathan because Ranganathan is a universal. So we can do it. Philosophy is ready, maker is ready. So what exactly the problem is? We can do it very nicely. So that's why do not create kind of situation that we can able to take RFID technology. So wait, then think yourself, is that feasible for the budget of the library? Because after COVID-19, probably it will be very difficult to cater that kind of budget. So just think over that and rethink, then apply. And we need to apply when we're concrete in our mind after application. And we have to do it. And we can do it all together. Because our kids are much, much smarter than any part of the earth. They're doing excellent. And we have to do. And we all can do together. And we have to do it. There is no alternative option. And we have to do it for our generation to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. It was remarkable, very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Roy, for a knowledgeable and a very technical session. Dr. Roy elaborated how, with the help of technology, students can learn and engage themselves efficiently. And that is all for today. Now we have a little more time to answer your questions. I will be taking up all the questions, relevant ones, one by one. So our both chat box and question answer box are full of appreciation by the attendees. They are appreciating both the presentations a lot. So I will be taking the first question. That's by Akshat Shukla. And this question is directed to Dr. Pavel. He wants to know, Akshat wants to know that how does ideology encourage and affect digital manipulation of news, and how hard it is to be objective in reporting news in these times of polarization?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Well, of course, ideology can and do affect the report of the news items and the consumption of reports, because it's hard to make a difference. It's hard to create the divide between the ideology and creating the news. And the same thing is, ideology is the basic when we create news and when we are consumption or consumptor of news. I mean, if we see any news item and we have this basic notion, this basic state of mind, it doesn't matter what will be the news item. We will interpret it as the same manner as we believe. For those who believe that the earth is flat and not round, it doesn't matter what will you give them. It doesn't matter what evidence you show them. They will believe that everything is flat, that the earth is flat. So ideology and your basic notion and state of mind is behind everything. But the problem is, as I said, that on one hand, how can we consume news and news items at this area of time in which it's so easy to create news item. Every one of us with their laptop and tablets and cell phone, we are journalists, when we are photographers. It's so easy to create a news item, but on the other hand, it's so easy to create manipulation. So as I said, the danger is to be able to understand that perhaps there are those news items that are fake and being manipulated. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I hope your question is answered, Mr. Shukla.
I hope so. I hope
So,
so. If not, let me know.
Sure, sure. We'll be sharing your email ID if any attendees interested in writing to you or to get in touch with you. So, sir, we have one comment. Ms. Susanta Sethi writes that yours was a very, very nice topic, and then she's really impressed with the images shared by you. And it was a very pictorial presentation, indeed. So, Ms. Sunita Pratik is wanting to know that how can we find out either the information is authentic or fake?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's a very important one. The problem is, and I'm saying sadly, that as time goes by and technology develops, I'm afraid that it's become harder to distinguish between good and bad, between fake and genuine. And I think that our responsibility as media consumer, as teacher, as students, as relatives, as human beings, is to think, what is this media source? What is this media outlet? It is genuine. What is the motive of this article? Is this article look and smell genuine? Does it intend to create something that I feel? Is this news item intend to create me to provoke me, to create unrest, to make me anger, to create any kinds of unrest, or to motivate me to do something, and perhaps to cross, I mean to check, to do double check. And I always said that if there is a doubt, there is no doubt. If there is a doubt, there is no doubt. Please do even cross checks to news items, to photos. I give you just an example, a tiny one. Whenever you see an image, even on Facebook or WhatsApp or text messages or whatever, you receive an image, a photo, and you don't know if it's genuine, do one small thing with the mouse, your mouse. Do right click with the mouse on that image, and on the open menu there is search Google image, and you can look and find this image on Google. If you find it, you know that perhaps it's not genuine. So even we, in our daily life, we have those basic tools to understand whether an image is true or false, whether it was used, whether someone took it from Google Image Archive and uses in secondary usage. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavel, Dr. Pavel. Ms. Sunita, I think your question is answered as rightly put by Dr. Pavel, that you have to be vigilant consumer. So
Always.
the responsibility lies on us. And we now know if we get any fake news or any news that we generally find being circulated on WhatsApp, what is to be done? So that's a solution. We have to act vigilant. So yes. So I will be taking questions in the same chronology as we had the presentation. So I will be taking up the questions which are directed to Dr. Pavel. So let me see if we have any other relevant question directed to him. So a similar question, I think it's already answered, that Ms. Joy Chatterjee is wanting to know how to stop fake news. So I feel that this question is already answered.
Yeah, but I said, I'll, with your permission, I'll add a small thing, that to stop fake news, it's not only our responsibility of the consumer. To stop fake news should be the responsibility of everyone. I mean, also media outlets and perhaps NGOs. I don't know if to add governmental body agencies, because in this case it may interpret as censorship or freedom of speech, obligation against freedom of speech. But not only our responsibility, it should be even media outlet responsibility to try to avoid and to minimize fake news.
So true, sir. Any information which is incendiary or dangerous should not be forwarded, and the responsibility lies with the civil society. And definitely, that's on the government, the media, and on all of us. So the next, I will be directing the other questions to Dr. Roy, as they are related to his technical session. So the very first question is by Mr. Srinivas, Mr. A. Srinivas. He's wanting to know if there is any chance to hack this NFC or other technology.
Yes, there is a chance of hacking the NFC technology. So in that case, what we need to create two-tier security system in our family application interface. When you are creating with a server and your app, we need to create two-tier of connectivity. That's why I'm so new. That's why whenever you are in the library and you want to issue a books, along with the user's ID number, you have to put the password on that. So these are the basic things. These are the basic things which we can work on that, and probably it will help it out. Next is in Bluetooth. Yes, in Bluetooth, that's why we're not taking it into the transaction kind of thing. We are taking it as a value addition in the library services. So that's the way we are working.
So the other question directed to you is from Mr. Mohan Rao. He is wanting to know how to install NFC technology.
Thank you for the question. That's a very interesting thing, that how you are going to do that. Normally, we usually pasted barcode label into the books. That's the same way there is a sticker, the NFC sticker. We can paste it on the books, and we can charge it with the NFC reader writer. It's a mobile phone or kind of tab. And other way, you have to create some kind of applications. Some of the applications are very much available in Indian server. Some of the, if you search for that, probably you will get it. But you have to customize with that, and probably that kind of app the student can do within a 15 days or 30 days. So no corporate sector till date has come up in India with that technology. Probably it will come, somebody will take up. So that's why I'm provoking the corporate sector come up and hold, because we have to reduce our cost of automation in the library. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for answering this question. So another question, which seems to be very interesting, Ms. Rajshri or today, she's wanting to know that among all these, which technology will be perfect for small libraries having collection around, per se, 10,000 books and around 300 patrons? She's from Navi Mumbai.
Great. For that, thank you for your question. That's a very important question. Actually, in today's, I came up with this idea because those who have done RFID system can understand it's, in some extent, it is a very stagnant kind of technology. You cannot do with that. If you go for the NFC technology, it will reduce your cost. And with that technology, what we are thinking of that, through NFC technology, you can come closer to the book rack. The whole bibliographical information will come up to your mobile phone. So this is the way you can work on that. So wait for a year, or for a year at least. Somebody come up with the, or in your institute, if student can do the app, NFC enabled app, that will be the finest job they can do, and they can do it within a 15 days of time. So I think that will be the best option. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So there is another question from Ms. Dhanalakshmi Bogavarapu. She's wanting you to share information on how to get NFC software. I think this question has already been answered, so we need not take up this question again. So Mr. Joy Chatterjee writes that we use so many apps. Which is safe and which is unsafe? How do we know?
That probably my friend will answer it.
The question is, yeah, the question is really is addressed to me.
Sir, I think that's directed to you only because he's talking about apps. So maybe he's talking
Yes,
about
okay.
apps which are provided in news and other.
Yes. Well, yeah, it may relate to fake news because there are genuine and reliable applications, and unfortunately, yes, there are those who are fake and malicious ones. And I'll give, with your permission, several things that I try to implement. First of all, if I'm looking for any application, new one to download, first of all, I'm looking of the rates. How many points and star did this application receive? Then, what are the feedbacks? What are all the users say about it? And yes, there are cases in which I said, okay, the feedbacks are too bad. I don't want it. And it's always something like risk analysis. When we live in this digital dimension, it's kind of risk analysis. And I give you an example. I don't know if you can see this band. Okay, it's Xiaomi Mi Band 4. So the advantage is that on one hand, I can have here the distance that I walk, my heart rate, and even monitoring my sleeping for each night, whether it's light sleep or heavy sleep, and how long. It's wonderful. It's very precious. But on the other hand, it's Xiaomi, Chinese band. So the Chinese now have day by day all the data, including my heart rate, on a daily basis, and probably also the Chinese government have all this data. So you have to create your own risk analysis. I'll give you an example about application, whatever you want to share or not. In the past, there were applications, some applications that all the intention was to be a torch, flashlight. Now it's a basic feature in every cellular phone. But in the past, there were applications, perhaps even now, that all the essence was to be torch, flashlight. In one of Cam's cases, this application wanted to grant a privileged access to your contact list, to your files, to your location. Hey, why? It's just a flashlight. Why a flashlight application needs to grant access to my contact list, to my folders, to my location? In this case, you understand that the flashlight ability, the light ability that it gives you, it's just a pretext to steal your information or to receive your information. So we have to be very cautious and to analyze.
Well, very good suggestion from your side, Dr. Pavel. As when we shop even on Amazon, we do go through the reviews and ratings, and then only we decide our product. We do not like immediately finalize if we hear from a friend. So this is what we should be ideally doing while downloading any app also from the App Store.
Indeed.
So maybe this is going to be the last question for the day because it's almost time. So this question is from Divya Bharti. I think it's again directed to Dr. Pavel. So she's wanting to know that in this digital era, where students do Google for anything and everything, what is the best way to tell them for searching any information that's not fake? How can they actually differentiate between them?
If I understand correctly, the question is how can Google understand whether it's true or fake, or how can we understand in Google what's true or fake?
I think the question, that's what I am able to understand, that she's wanting to know that when we, type any keywords on Google search engine, so we do get a lot of information. So how do we identify that this one is right and this one is wrong?
Oh, okay. Once again, the problem is that no longer we can just consume information and use. It's pity, but we cannot just consume it. We have to be much more aware to what we consume. So we have to analyze a bit, see what is the source, who is the writer, who is the reporter. Is this media outlet reliable? Is this an official media outlet or it's a blog? What is the intention? Do they use a story that I think I heard before? Do they use an image that I can search in Google Images and find that it was used before and was taken from Google Images archive? What is the essence of this news item in order to irritate me, in order to provoke, in order to make me feel anger, to make me go to the street and do riots and protests and so on? And at the end of the day, the last thing, as I said before, try to cross, to do double check. You find something somewhere, try to double check with another more official media outlet. That's our obligation.
Thank you so much, sir. So
thank you.
Now we have so many questions directed towards Dr. Roy. So what I'm thinking, I'm going to combine 2-3 questions and then he can answer all together. So sir, this question is from Dr. Shamila Hafiz, directed to Dr. Roy. She's wanting to know that near field technology, that's NFC, is a similar technology as Bluetooth technology. Difference is NFC doesn't need permission to connect with host and user. So is it safe that there should be no personal theft from user device?
Oh, thank you for the question. It's a very good question.
Yes, sir.
The Bluetooth technology and NFC is too different. NFC is it's very much direct, and you need not to create any kind of permission on that. Bluetooth, you need to give permission, then it will work. But when you are using NFC technology, then you need to have a proper application on that with a two-tier security system. Then it will act like anything. I will tell you one important thing. We're thinking of RFID application, NFC applications, or the Bluetooth application. We're thinking for the sake of our user, for our academic fraternity, students. So anything we'll do for the easiest way they can go for that. If somebody has a different kind of mindset, so they can do anything. So we don't have say on that. But in academic, probably we will avoid those mindset. It is not permitted. So if you have a strong family application interface in NFC, there is nothing worry about it. Thank you so much.
Sir, I will be taking up the very last question for sure. So Mr. Prashant Kumar is wanting to know that if there are volume of any books, then how will that work through NFC?
Can you repeat, please?
So Mr. Prashant Kumar wants to know if there are volume of any books, then how will that work through NFC?
Okay, that's thank you. The question, it will be as, because every volume, every books in the library is come up with a one single accession number. We'll follow that particular accession number for that one particular book data. So nothing to be worried on that.
Thank you, sir, for answering all the questions. It looks like we have covered all the relevant questions here. So great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Kindly fill up the feedback form before you leave. The link is shared on your screen and also in the chat box. On behalf of Dr. Anand Malviya, Chief Librarian, also the convener of this webinar, students, staff, and management of Untitled University, I, Dr. Anjali Sherawat, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to both the speakers, Dr. Pavel and Dr. Roy. Thank you so much for the excellent presentations today. I also extend my thanks to Mr. Abhishek and Mr. Nitin and the entire team for their enormous cooperation and impeccable IT support provided in the organization of this event. I also extend my thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. DNS Kumar, for giving us the opportunity to conduct this event and for his guiding vision. Last but not the least, thank you all for being patient listeners and for attending this webinar in these tiring times. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure for me and honor. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Me too. See you till next week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All.
Thank you very much. It was a real honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Be safe and take care.
You too, all of you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anjali ma'am. It's nice.
Thank you, Dr. Purjesh Raji. Thank you very much.